Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Iggs. We're here today at Niello Porsche in Sacramento, California at the Niello Company. And Ted, service acquisition and it's important in fixed operations is why we're here today.
What a great topic, Sarah. We have some industry leaders from Niello and from within the industry. I'd like to have you all introduce yourselves and what you do, starting here with Jeret.
Jeret Williams of Row BMW. I am the service manager.
Randy Barone, I'm Vice President of Business Development with ACB.
Brian Kramer. I am Executive Vice President at Hers.com.
Matt Leone, CEO of DriveCentric.
Kraig, Quisenberry, Vice President of Enterprise Accounts with ACV and former major dealer.
Dennis Gingrich, Variable Operations Director here at the Niello Company.
Brian, I want to kick the conversation off with you. When we talk about service acquisition, we're not talking about buying cars. We're talking about earning new service customers. Why has service acquisition become such a critical growth strategy for dealerships today?
Well, I think that everybody realizes that it's getting more challenging to make a profit on, when you had a critical mass audience at the auction, and that the best trades or the best used cars are the ones you pick in on trade. They're more profitable. They turn more quickly, and there's basically an auction lane going through every franchise in the United States.
Randy and Kraig, y'all are seeing this as well with ACD and how this is shifting with fixed operations.
I would tell you that when you're talking about retaining your customers, and I think that was a big part of what Niello was all about, was retention. You had the fastest, easiest way to run off business by not putting the right number on car. Everybody gets fired up about let's go buy cars out of service, and then they go out there and hit that customer with a ridiculously low number and just literally irritate the customer and run them off. When you do it the right way, it's a great experience for the consumer. It's a great experience for the dealership. It's a great way to be able to acquire the car. But if you're really in this for the long haul, you want those customers in new cars. You want them because the car's under warranty. They bring that car back to the dealership and you get to service it. So, I mean, it is just a circle of life when you do it the right way.
Yeah, and I'd add to that, I'd say, this is about acquiring customers. It's not a car. Because when you win a customer, you know what that comes with? It comes with a car. And that car is then going to go through the life cycle, as it always does, through service and then back through sales. And it generates typically another trade. But here's the point I think we're missing is the customers today, they're not necessarily looking to get their car serviced. They're looking for a service experience. And roughly about a third of them actually want a value. They want to know what that car is worth going through the service drive. They don't want to find that out on the sales side. They want to find that out in the service drive. And about 11 to 14% will actually trade. And they'll do it in a more seamless way. But here's what you're building. You're building belief in your brand, your dealership, and you're building trust because the trust is happening where the customer believes that's true.
And Matt, talking about the CDP perspective, it really is important to have this overview and really this holistic experience between sales and fixed operations.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the dealer's perspective and the consumer's perspective. From a dealer perspective, I have total lifetime value of that customer. Are they my platinum customer that serves with me, been loyal to me, bought cars from me? I want to make sure that we're giving them the right experience. And so that's centralizing it. So I can put all of their experience in the RO side, plus all the stuff that they've bought, plus all their aftermarkets, and giving that consumer a great experience. From a consumer's lens, they might have been underwater in their car. They might have bought a car during the chip shortage and way over MSRP, and now it's coming due for service. They might have an expensive RO coming. Why not give them options? Why not talk to that consumer about some options? And they might be pleasant in supply. Now you won a customer for life. Now you retain that loyalty because just repairing the car isn't always the answer. Sometimes the answer is let's get you traded out. Let's get you to a different model. Maybe you don't need that size car anymore, and I get you in a lower payment. Why not show optionality? It's always just about connecting the departments to make a better consumer experience because consumer only looks at it as a store. They don't look at it as by department. And give the consumer what they're looking for is kind of always the right answer.
And Dennis and Jeret, this is really what you've created success with here at the Niello Company. Talk to us a little bit about your service acquisition success here.
It's been very successful, and the numbers that you're talking about are very true. They're what we are seeing in our service drive. Everybody wants to know what their car's worth. It's funny. The more research you do, whether we're trying to sell them a car or not, it is really irrelevant. You put a number on their car, and now that puts the thought in their brain, and it's a service side of things, right? we're not looking for instant gratification on the service side. We're gonna tell you what's wrong with the car. You're gonna go home and think about it. You're gonna come back later and tell us what you want to do. Well, if I give you a number on your car, you're also gonna go home and think about, well, maybe it's time to trade it in. So what we are seeing long term, and we're about 3 months into this now, is that people are starting to come back and wanting to trade those cars in, have a conversation with the salesman and talk about what is possible, because yes, a lot of people are underwater. Yes, the car repairs are very expensive at times, and now it's time to get out of that. So I love your numbers. I think they're spot on, and we are seeing that in real life.
When I think as, as leaders, it's our job to make sure that we're giving everybody at the dealership opportunity or customers to talk to. And with that 33% number, that's definitely a valid number. We've seen it firsthand. But I think about, if my responsibility is to take my wife's car in for service and get blank done, I might show up and I might get blank done and learn that, hey, it needs a bigger ticket item, that was not my assignment to do anything extra when I went there.
Okay.
But if I get a number on that visit, when I come home later tonight and I sit down at the dinner table and I have that number, now I have my total, service bill, what I said no to that day, because that was not the assignment. Now I can have a meaningful conversation at the dinner table. And if everything's served up in a way so they can just re-engage or pick up where they left off in the service department and easily pivot back to their service advisor or back to the sales department, I'm allowing that customer to choose their own journey, and I'm going to be there with all the data and insights from our engagement platform so I can get them what they need and, serve them how they want to be served.
I have a lightning round for everybody here on the panel today. I'll start with Brian Kramer, then come back to Jeret. We'll go down the line. Ryan, a lot of fixed ops leaders are watching the Fixed Ops Roundtable panel here with us today. Why should they be thinking about service acquisition with the same level of focus that sales leaders think about customer acquisition?
Well, I think that the sales leaders need, what I see across the country is that the service leaders are actually more receptive to being transparent and getting this information than many of the sales leaders historically. And I think that, I just experienced this Carvana CVGR store across the street.
Okay.
And I can't quit thinking about what I just experienced over there. And everything is very transparent, and they give them the information. This command and control that we've had since I've been in the business 30 years is not helping. It's not helping any. And we need to be more transparent, because if not, you're handing over not just your, the trade, you're handing over your client's data to your competitor or somebody else who's going to control that narrative. So if you're not, you're literally forcing your customer to get that information somewhere else. And that's going to causes every dealer to miss more trades and retain less customers.
Jeret, your thoughts? Why should fixed ops leaders be thinking about service acquisition with the same level of focus that the sales leaders think about customer acquisition?
Because the best car to buy is a car the complete history of. That is a service car that I know everything about. And if we can acquire that car, turn it into a used car, sell that customer another new or used car, I now have two customers, right? I've got the one that has to get into a new car, and I'm going to sell the old car to another one, and I'm going to continue to service that. One customer turns into two.
And Randy, I guess that's where you come in at ACB with the new Viper product as well.
Yeah, I would tell you that I look at those as one and the same. So whether it's a customer in service or in sales acquisition, it's a customer and it's a car. And if we're not communicating with those consumers, somebody else is. So, he brought up Carvana. They are poised, not just them, other big competitors are poised to be able to get our consumers. These companies, just in those two, CarMax and Carvana alone, retail and wholesale, 2.1 million cars. That's think about where all those cars came from. A large portion of them came from our dealers, the franchise dealers. So this store, so we really need to focus. In my workshops, I talk about data decay. We have all this data in your CRM, but we're not communicating with those customers. Customer comes to you for service, they're right there. And if we do it the right way, we're not just going to get a car, we're going to get a customer, we're going to continue that relationship, and we're not going to let our competition take our customers away from us. And we're getting a better car, better quality, with a story that makes that car very, very easy to sell.
Love it. Matt, your thoughts?
I mean, with the partnership with ACB, and we can pull in data now to DriveCentric, or we could appraise a vehicle if somebody comes through the service drive. I'm a big supporter of, buying out two customers and buying that car. But, sometimes it's also just showing them data and working with their timeline. So, the depreciation of that car is going to happen over the next few years. and they've got a big repair order, and repair order tickets are over $700 now on average. If you could show that consumer, hey, you might not be ready right now, but I'll give you some options, think about it. The next time they come in, they're like, hey, you're right, the depreciation of that car is real. I might want to get out of this car now. And that's the data that can be done.
And they already have it. They've already shopped.
Yep.
14 out of 15 when I just appraised cars on the street with strangers, they already made it to me.
Right. And if I can add to that. So again, I want to go back to the core point. We're talking about customers. Think about your best customers, your best ones, the ones that you know the family name, and hopefully their kids, their other family members have bought you the brand, or they're buying from your group. You're with drive-through inspection and technology that's allowing you to do this, you're building an enhancement to your brand. You're building belief and trust that your organization is actually more interested not just in acquiring their car, but providing them information they don't have or can get anywhere else. And you're doing it in a seamless way, a way that does not require any lift or effort, okay? That is going to give them a real-time number. It's going to provide you as service technicians, as advisors, as service managers, better information that real quickly you can determine not just pre-existing damage, that's a bonus point, but also what does this car look like today before my technicians even touch it? That is going to build and build upon itself to where those customers are going to go home. Maybe they didn't trade today. Maybe they didn't buy a car today. Maybe they just did a lube oil filter. You know what they're going to do though? They're going to tell their friends, family, and neighbors about this new amazing experience. This experience requires nothing on their behalf to go to that dealership and check this out. And you're going to actually build the brand of your dealership and the value of doing business in your stores.
Dennis, you got the last word.
Oh, that's scary. Well, no, yeah, sure. No, all these guys did a great job.
Yeah, maybe not. No.
Yeah, panel's over. No, but all these guys did such a great job thinking about it. And a lot of times I'll poke fun at Tully and I'll call his service meetings fixed mindset training. But I really think, and I don't know how many variable guys are watching the show, but they really should tune into the show because there are so many key moments that are happening on our service drive every day that are true pivot points, actionable points that with the right data, the tools and the platform, both sides can win. So I would tell all the variable operations, go out there and get some fixed mindset training. That way you understand what's going on in the back end.
Dennis,
so you can be a
why do you
good
think that
partner.
variable managers are afraid of this topic though? Or honoring the price?
Because
there's
there's
automation.
It takes so much of the art away from it. And honestly, I just think it's insecurity is all it boils down to. And, at the end of the day, we need to go through transactions as seamlessly as possible because it's a numbers game. There's all these cars going through the service drive. It's a never ending funnel back there, especially the more units we put in operation. Tully needs that from us, right? But there's all these transactions going on and enough numbers, you know what the outcome is. It's just data and you got to trust it. You got to lean into it, but you got to get uncomfortable or comfortable being uncomfortable. And sometimes it says, hey, I don't understand fixed operations. Get out of your chair and get back in the back and invest in yourself and invest in your dealership and you will all win in the long term.
What a great conversation with everybody here today. Cars.com, DriveCentric, ACV. Thank you so much for what you do. Sarah, I hear the future coming. It's going to be some fixed mindset ahead for the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
That's right, Ted. Fixed operations continues to be where the industry is heading and is now. We're looking forward to it.
I'm Ted Ings with Sarah Vantine. We are here at the Niello Company in Sacramento. We will be right back.
Yeah, baby!